Hi, this is Ed, and welcome to the Outer Dark. As those who follow my channel know, I've been investigating Vault7 and what it could be, which led me to a channel through a number of leads, namely a channel called Look, currently being investigated on the 4chan forums. But what does this all mean, and what does this YouTube channel have to do with anything? Well, stay tuned as the Outer Dark brings you 5 things we know about the Look channel and the Morse code. Number 5. First, some context. First, we have to outline what steganography is. It is a way of sending a message. This can be in the form of a hidden flag within the Podesta emails, for example. Something I have yet, of course, to confirm myself, otherwise I'd mention it in a video. But it's basically a way of hiding a message within something else, in this form mainly media. This can be sent many ways, of course. It could be sent in an email or a direct file, or if you want to create what's called a public wash, you could do it in the form of a public media platform, such as Twitter or YouTube, just a way in which your message is only found by those looking for it, and the large number of public visitors is a way of washing it out. In fact, if someone is trying to trace who the message is for, the same relationship as you've seen in the old spy movies where someone would go to a train station with a number of different people. You kind of get lost in the crowd. For instance, here is one of the posts that were posted on Twitter by the user that you see here. In the post, it looks like they're going through some kind of database. I'm unsure what that is. However, it's worth noting that the Wikileaks updated their database to do with IC Watch, which is on the Wikileaks database and has public LinkedIn profiles on it on people speculated to be within the government sector. But one word in this actual post here references a name that if you search in the IC Watch database is really unusual. This profile is a lot different than all the others. And you have to ask yourself, why did Wikileaks update its section of the file system just in the last 2 days? In fact, it seems to be like the only update that's happened in months. But now you know what that is, let's have a look at the channel in question, called Look. Number 4. Now, to be clear, I don't know what the function of this channel is, whether it's just art for art's sake, so to speak, or projecting some kind of inner philosophy with no real meaning but to those who understand it, or if it's really hiding some kind of cryptographic clues for a message or potential wiki leak. But one thing is clear, this channel has been making videos that seem to have some kind of cryptographic meaning. What do I mean? Well, all the videos seem to have messages in them, in the form of pictures or strange references that reference things happening right now. For instance, Vault7 or Wikileaks, etc. There are a lot of people on 4chan right now researching this channel in particular, but let's see what I can add if I took a look. Anyway, the one thing I looked at was this video here, which is 40 seconds long. But why did I find this video interesting? Well, have a listen and see if you can spot anything strange. Now I slowed it down a bit so you could hear it. Anyway, after I listened to it, I thought that there was something hidden in there, so I put it into some steganography software, as you do, and I found this strange reference to Morse code. I ran it through a Morse code engine and I found this here, this reference, some kind of hidden Morse code key within the actual audio itself. I don't know what this number means. It could mean nothing. It could be in fact a phantom of the software, but nonetheless this is what I found, and upon looking at it, it seems that there's the same static or references to some kind of hidden message within all the videos. If you run it through software, you can take a look at this yourself. So how do we view this and what does it really mean? Well, number 3, there's many ways you can look at this. If it's there on purpose, they say, then the information has been sent to someone for a reason. Maybe it's just some kind of reality-based game. I don't really know, but it seems to be in there. The channel seems also to be heavily Wikileaks related, such as the posting of a direct key within their video. And if you look at the video, the main purpose of it was the posting of the key there doesn't seem to be any surrounding narrative around that, just the direct displaying of the key. The current Vault7 references, of course, are the things that people are looking at right now, since the last few videos seem to reference Vault7 directly, with the use of images like nuclear bombs going off and a heavy relationship to 9/11. At least it would seem. The problem here is that when you're actually sending information, and this is only my speculation, but you don't usually do it with direct image relationships unless your institution is under stress. So in the case of direct images here that have relationships, such as the planes hitting the Twin Towers, and it being a direct relationship to Twin Towers, seems unlikely unless this organization is under stress, or I guess operating on different methodologies than those used in signal intelligence, such as the military and intelligence sector. For instance, if you're sending a message about 9/11, you're probably more likely to send a message of a lake, or maybe a set of keys, or a bus station, something that's completely different from the message that you're actually sending. So in this regards, we can logically, I think, deduce that this message is for a smaller group directly, related to maybe some kind of operation they're doing, whether that's a reality-based game, or in fact they're involved in some kind of espionage or counterintelligence, or if they're just friends of Wikileaks trying to promote some kind of philosophy of information. I just don't know. In fact, all of this is wild speculation. Number 2. So what did the people at 4chan find? Well, they actually found something interesting around this video in particular, just one out of many that are mentioned on the forums, a link to which will of course be placed in the description. But the main name here, when reversed, spells Boeing, and the last numbers here of course are 37, so it seems to relate something to MH370. But if we look at this in the context of the codes within the video, if we line up the codes themselves, and as a number of researchers have pointed out, if we reverse those numbers themselves, alluded to the fact of the clue within the title of the reverse wording, we actually get a numerical sequence which, if we put into Google Maps, goes to a pinned location. The thing here that's interesting is regarding if this location was pinned post research into this video. If it was pinned before research, then that would show some direct correlation between the actual research itself and the video. So at this point I just don't know the answer to that. This location happens to be in Russia, in a reserve of some kind, as you can see here. So if we're going to take this as a whole in relation to Vault7 itself, in relation to the pictures and what we know, what kind of narrative do we get? Well, we get something to do with MH370, or at least a Boeing airplane, if that's what's been referenced, Vault7, and the pictures, and in fact 9/11 itself. Now, there's many conspiracies around 9/11, a lot of which are really interesting, but one of the most interesting ones to me, and has always been, is what kind of planes actually hit the Twin Towers. As a number of researchers have pointed out, the jets that hit the Twin Towers seem to have a pod underneath them. What this means is it projects the narrative that there was actually military planes painted as passenger jets. Could this be what's in Vault7? Proof that it was a military operation from the beginning? In fact, the last photo, or at least the one before the actual woman in the post box, reference White Man Air Force Base. Could this be a trail of evidence that directly implicates the United States military in an operation like 9/11? Well, you guys will have to judge for yourselves. But I do have one question, and it is in a non-cryptic form, and that is number 1. Where is Assange? Why are Wikileaks dates changed and archived to 1984 and Room 101? I know this might seem a bit off topic, but it does relate to Wikileaks itself, since Room 101 references the brainwashing room from the novel 1984. Could this be what all these cryptic messages are about on Twitter and YouTube, etc.? Could it be a counterfaction trying to rescue Wikileaks, or trying to figure out what's happening? I don't really know, but I do know one thing. Julian Assange hasn't been seen since the Ecuadorian embassy window since October of last year. Now you might say, well, what about Pam's visits to the actual embassy? Well, that only makes me more suspicious, because if you were running a psychological operation in the public's mind, that would be exactly what you'd do to try and convince people that Julian Assange is in the Ecuadorian embassy. You'd take a high-profile celebrity and you'd repeat visits visits to the embassy in order to imply that Julian Assange is there. Meanwhile, putting headlines in all the tabloid magazines that Julian Assange is in some kind of relationship with Pamela Anderson. Anyway, think about that for a second. And then you might ask, well, what about all the video? He mentions dates of events that happen in the video, so they can't be pre-recorded. Well, remember, if you can predict the future, and what I mean by that is if you know when you're going to release Chelsea Manning, then you can always pre-record the video. You can do that with all events, and it doesn't matter what those events are. As long as you can predict outcome, you can put that in the script of the actual video. And plus, it doesn't even have to be that. Julian Assange could be in a black site somewhere with a film studio behind him and a gun to his head. I mean, under those circumstances, he probably would have to say anything just to stay alive. I think the question about where is Assange and why is Wikileaks behaving so strangely are very important questions because they relate to the leaks themselves. So what is happening here? Well, we'll only really know when the actual leaks come out. I don't know if the Look channel is just a reality-based game or associated with Wikileaks or anything. I have no idea. It's just a really interesting channel anyway. It will, of course, be placed in the description as well, in case you guys want to take a look. But in the meantime, just go out and do your own research and have a look. If you find something that's a complete contrast to everything I've said here, then that can only be a good thing, because it's only through dynamic crowdsourcing and opinions where we can actually find out what is happening. So go out and have a look and, of course, decide for yourselves. In the meantime, of course, this is Ed from the Outer Dark, and give the video a thumbs up if you did like it. That'd help me out a lot. And yeah, let me know what you think in the comments section. Until next time, guys, this is Ed, and I'll see you later.
We have a chance to turn the pages over. We can write what we want to write. We gotta make things leak so we can get much bolder. We're all wiretapped now. We're all being fed lies. Not long till we get all the rats out. Once we turn on all the